Welcome back. This channel is geared towards young men who find today's society confusing. Previously, I discussed how surrendering one's individuality and embracing sameness will cause a man to lose power. Premature or unnecessary pursuit of status symbols leads to a loss of power. Understand that status symbols are often unnecessary, and spending money on them takes money away from savings and investment. When a man spends money on status symbols such as expensive cars, accessories, jewelry, club memberships, and clothes, he denies himself the ability to save and invest. While the purchasing of goods and services is natural and a legitimate form of commerce, buying things one cannot afford in order to impress others should be avoided. This will cause a man to lose power. Opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value of sacrifice one makes in choosing to purchase or produce one economic good or service instead of another. It is important to understand trade-offs. As boys, men are told that in order to achieve something else must be sacrificed. High school athletes sacrifice some of their leisure time for practice, and playing video games means less time for working on a job. There is a finite amount of time and money. When one spends money on a luxury item that is not needed, that money can't be spent on a necessity. Choices. When a man chooses to purchase a status symbol prematurely, he gives up the option to save and invest the money that was spent on those status symbols. Saving and investing are paths to power. Premature purchases of status symbols will prevent a man from saving and investing his money. Many young men do not fully understand the consequences for these choices. Consequences. As a man, your choices have consequences that you must accept. Pursuit of status symbols may lead to the following: lack of financial flexibility, indebtedness, poor credit scores, inability to relax, unable to save for emergencies, inability to save and invest. Going into debt to purchase a status symbol is foolish. When I was an undergraduate, a professor expressed a desire for a Porsche. He saved up and did not go into debt to buy this car. Young men often will buy a status symbol car and go into debt doing so, and thus lose power. If payments cannot be maintained, then this could result in a poor credit score. Worrying about debts makes it difficult to fully relax. These payments also prohibit one from saving for emergencies. Having a cash cushion for an emergency is a source of power that a man should not surrender for a status symbol that can either wait or need not be purchased. Examples of poor choices. Some examples of men making poor choices as regards to status symbols are athletes and entertainers. Several men who are or were athletes or entertainers have lost power due to poor spending choices. Some have purchased Learjets and have had to pay over $50,000 in order to replace a windshield. Some have partied millions of dollars away during their careers and are now bankrupt. A few, such as Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, have wisely invested their earnings and thus have increased their power. Follow the example of these men instead of those men that have foolishly spent their fortunes on nonsense such as status symbols they cannot afford or maintain. While purchasing and owning status symbols will not lead to a loss of power, if this is done unnecessarily and prematurely, it will have a high probability of leading to a loss of power. A man with great wealth can purchase status symbols without leading to a loss of power. In fact, some status symbols may enhance his power. The man who does not have to work for his money, but is able to make his money work for him, is the man who has power. The goal is to be financially independent, where no government or person is able to dictate to you in such a way that you are fearful of losing your income. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Thanks for listening.